Okay, so in this video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to do a fact file, or as the file is going to be called, a two-town study. So I'll show you what the end result should look like. So it should look like this. So you are going to be researching two towns that are on the Fife coast. And the title is going to be the two-town study, and the two towns that I chose are St Andrews and Pittenweem. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like in the end. I'm going to show you how to get to this point. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we need to go and have a look at two different towns. So you need to, on Google Chrome, just open up a new tab, and we're going to go to Google Maps, or you can use Google Earth. Okay, open Google Maps, and then we're just going to type in our county, which is Fife. Enter. And here we go. We've got our lovely shape of the Scotty dog, which is Fife, the Kingdom of Fife. Okay, and we want to look for a town which is going to be somewhere along the coastal area. We're not going to look on the inside part just now. We're just going to focus on some of the coastal towns. Okay, so this is where I zoomed in, and as I went around along the coast, so started off, there we are in Rosyth. So I've just gone along the coast, and there's lots of different places you can see. The bigger the word, the bigger the town. So you might want to get a contrast, so a few different, like different size towns. So you might want to get a small one and a large one so you can compare them. So as we go along, let me just find, there we go, there's Pittenweem. Okay, so that I'm going to choose Pittenweem as one of my towns, and let's just come out of that. The next town that I'm going to choose, I'm going to keep going along the coast, and I'm going to choose St Andrews. So St Andrews looks a little bit bigger. You can tell it's bigger because there's more little roads, and there's more buildings in the centre part as well. Okay, so there's my two towns that I've chosen. So the first thing I need to do is open up a Word document. So here we go. And I'm going to give my Word document a title, and it's called Two-Town Study. Now, let me just show you how to get you writing over into the middle first. So once I've typed two-town study, I just need to move the cursor, either click it at the beginning of the word or highlight the whole word, both of which work. So if you click at the beginning of the word, and up here we've got the different alignments. So that means on the left, which is what it is now. This would be kind of, we're not going to use that, but that is called justify, and that means there's no spaces. Well, the spaces are justified so it fits in on the whole page. This would be align it over to the right. We would use that if we were going to write a letter, and the one that we're using today is in the middle. That's for our title. So then we're going to go to the end of the word, click two spaces down, and then align to the left again. Now we need to write the name of our first town. So let's do St Andrews. Okay, I don't want this to be underlined, so I'm just going to highlight it all, and unclick the underline button. Okay, now what do we want to find out about St Andrews? So the things that you need to find out are population of St Andrews. Let me just double check what was on the list. Okay, things to do and see. Things to do and see. You can put a colon at the end, which is, you have to press the shift key, which is the arrow pointing up, and the two dots. So shift, two dots. That's a colon. So we've got population. Population means how many people live there. Things to do and see. So that could be anything like, you know, popular tourist attractions or things that you can see when you're there. And let's have a look what the next one was. main buildings and a fun fact. Okay, so the main buildings and fun fact. Okay. Right. Now, the next town that we've chosen is Pittenweem. Now remember, you can choose whatever town you like. These are just the ones that I've chosen for now. Now, I don't want to type all of this out again, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the very end here and scroll along and up to the beginning. And then I'm going to right-click and copy. Now I go back to Pittenweem. I'm going to click Enter twice to go 2 lines down. And then I'm going to click right-click, paste. There we go. That saved me having to write it all out again. Okay, so this is all the information I need to find out. Now, one of the things that you also need to do in your 2-town study, in your fact file, is include a photograph. So let's go back to the internet and find a photograph that we like of St Andrews and one of Pittenweem. Now, the best place to find photographs is if you go onto Google, type in the place, St Andrews, and click on images. Now, here's some nice images of St Andrews. Now, some of them you may be able to copy by just doing right click and copy image, but others you might need to follow a link to go to the page. So I'm going to choose this picture because I quite like this picture. So I'm going to click on that picture. Let's just check. I can copy image on this one, but you might need to save the image and put it onto your document another way. So I'm going to right click. So you just check by doing right click, copy image, and then I'm going to go back to my Word document and click on where it says St Andrews on the end. Go on to the next 2 lines down and then right click, paste. Wow, that's really big. Now it's too big. So we are going to need to reformat that image, but that's okay because this is a new skill. So it's way too big. So I need to right click it and I'm going to wrap the text so it's tight. That means I can move that image all over the page if I want to. So there we go. So it's now free for me to move around. Okay. So I'm just going to reformat it by dragging in. There we go. I've maybe unstretched it a little bit by doing that. Just make sure it looks right. And then the best way to reformat is to drag the corner ones. That was just a very big image. Okay, so now I can move this wherever I want and it's not going to interrupt the text. Okay, so there we go, St Andrews. I want this to be a little bit higher up, so I'm just going to move that up there. There. Okay, so now I need to go and get a picture of Pittenweem that I like. So let's go back to the internet. Google, type in Pittenweem. Okay, and I quite like this picture of Pittenweem. So let me just check if I can copy it. There we go, I can. So copy image, go back. Again, click at the end of the word and do 2 return keys. And then right click, paste. This is probably going to be big as well. There we go. So we need to do what we did before. So right click, wrap the text, make it tight, and now drag the corner. Okay. I probably need to make it a little bit smaller, so drag it again. we go. I'm just going to put it down here and move that down too. Okay. Right. So now we're nearly ready to start finding out our information. Now, what you need to think about first is, are you happy with this type of text? Now, personally, I like to change the text so make it a little bit more interesting, because at the moment that is Calibri, and over here we've got Times New Roman, so they're both different texts. So we want to make it all the same. So go to the very bottom of your text part and highlight. Keep going all the way up, right to the very top, highlight the whole thing. And then you go over here to the left and click the drop down. And this is all the different fonts that you can choose from. And I quite like American Typewriter. So I'm going to choose American Typewriter. And everything will change. I'm going to change the size of the font. So I'm going to make everything 14. I might want to change it later on. Now this is the title, so this should probably be a bit bigger. So highlight the title and make that a bit bigger than the rest. You might also want to make it bold so it stands out. Okay, so now it's time for us to find information about these places. So we need to find out what St. Andrews, or whatever place that you've chosen, whatever town you've chosen, we need to find out what the population is there. Now I can show you how to find the population, but I'm going to leave it completely up to you to fill the rest of the information in. The population is probably the trickiest bit to locate. So I'll show you how to do that now. So St. Andrews population, you need to go back to the internet again and type in the town that you're looking for. So I'm doing St. Andrews. St. Andrews, and over here we've got a picture of St. Andrews, a little map of St. Andrews, and some information, basic information about St. Andrews. If you scroll down, it says here, population 16,801. Okay, so that is the basic information, the basic population of St. Andrews. So you can write that in straight away. So you go back to your town study and you can type St. Andrews 16,801. Okay, you might want to do the same for Pittenweem as well while you're there. So let's type in Pittenweem and just double check that that works. Pittenweem. Okay, so as you can see over here, a little picture of Pittenweem comes up at the side, a map, and again it tells you it's a village in Scotland, and it will tell you what the population here is 1,747. That was last counted in 2001. So you can type that into your town file as well. So 1,747. Okay. Now I'm going to leave the rest of that up to you, okay? So you are going to use the internet you can use Kiddle, you can use Google if you like to find out the rest of the information. So the rest of the information is things that you can do and see in your town, a main building that's in your town, and a fun fact about the town that you're researching. So you should be looking at 2 different towns. If you finish that really, really quickly, at the end, you might want to think about how are the 2 towns different. So how are they different from each other? And you could write a little sentence about that at the bottom of your 2-town study. So you should have something at the end which looks a bit like this. So 2-town study, and then information about the 2 towns, and then how are they different, a sentence at the bottom. Any questions, just message me on Teams. Good luck with that.